Tomorrow is the 106th annual Veterans Day Parade in New York City. It's the largest event in the country honoring our military men and women. And one of this year's Grand Marshals is Clint Romesha, a former Army Staff Sergeant and Medal of Honor recipient who served in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Clint joins us now. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for bringing the Medal of Honor. I've never been able to see this in person. What an honor it is for you to, first of all, be here, and for tomorrow to serve in the capacity. But take us back to that time we were talking about what happened and why you were awarded this Medal of Honor.
You know, I mean, tomorrow's Veterans Day, which is, I mean, what a great day to sit here and think about all the men and women that put that uniform on. Like me, so many, we joined for one reason, we serve for another. That's what we have in common as veterans. When I joined in '99, I didn't think in a million years I'd ever meet a Medal of Honor recipient, let alone be one. So after 10 years of service and finding myself in Afghanistan with 50 other great Americans and 8 that lost their lives that day on October 3rd, 2009, we were at Combat Outpost Keating, got hit with 400 Taliban fighters, and after, like I said, 15 hours, they'd overran our defensive positions. We were able to push them back, and like I said, that brotherhood, that teamwork, and that concept of love of your fellow brothers to your left and right. They're doing your jobs, so you just got to do, you know, yours. And it was because of that we overcame that day.
You're such an inspiration, and thank you so much for your service. You got this medal, one of the medals you actually returned 4 years later. Why did you do that?
You know, for me, the medal I received from President Obama in 2013, it meant a lot more to go back to 4th ID, and I put it at the 4th Infantry Division headquarters there at Fort Carson. So all of those soldiers that come through there see what our history, our lineage was, and to have them understand too, like I said, at 18 years old when I joined, I didn't know where life was going to take me, and it's those moments that service the country, you'll be faced with these difficulties and challenges, but we have it all in us to raise up and stand up to do the right things for the right reasons. And I wanted all those to see that coming through Fort Carson. So now I wear my duplicate, not my original.
Oh, I see. Okay. I understand now, yeah.
You're obviously an advocate. I see you're wearing AWP. Let the viewers know what, first of all, that stands for and why you're so passionate about this cause. You
know, I've been with America's Warrior Partnership for almost a decade now, and they partner with local communities to help end veteran suicide. They understand that by collaborating with other nonprofit organizations, veteran service organizations, to help in local communities solve problems for veterans back in their own communities. And then when they hit stumbling blocks, we help educate them for the benefits and stuff that they've earned, and continue to be there to understand there's not one perfect solution that's going to end veteran suicide. It's not a program. It's going to be an outcome of doing really great work, and that's what America Warrior Partnership is bringing to the fight for all of our veterans.
Wow. When you came back from overseas, just kind of talk to us about what you went through also mentally coming back and being immersed into real life. I mean, it's so hard for so many of us to even imagine what that's like.
You know, I have to give it, you know, especially on the eve of Veterans Day, I think back to my dad, who was Vietnam. My granddad served in World War II, but especially the Vietnam veterans. When they came back, they did not come back to cheering crowds. They came back getting told to take their uniform off in the airport and throw it away and just go back home. And it was that generation that made sure every time I stepped foot back here in the U.S. that I came home to cheering crowds. And for all of those Vietnam veterans, you know, thank you guys so much for that. Welcome home, boys, and keep up the great work, because my generation can never forget what they did for us.
Absolutely.
I can hear you get emotional speaking about that. And I feel like maybe a bit now there might be a repeat of that. Some people are afraid to put American flags. It's a different symbol, and I know it's a divided country in terms of how we feel about these things. But what does tomorrow mean for you, especially being the Grand Marshal? You're going to see plenty of American flags and a lot of patriotism there, where there's sort of a lack of nowadays.
You know, that's the great thing with military service, is we all come from different backgrounds. You know, growing up in this country, we all kind of maybe grow up in our little bubbles of what we think America is. But day one of basic training, you're now thrown into a platoon for, you know, in my case down at Fort Knox, with 40 other guys from the East Coast to the West Coast to the North to the South. And all of a sudden you get to see a whole snapshot of what America is. And when you serve with those great men and women, you know, when the chips are down and things are tough, you're not thinking about politics. You're thinking about, I got to do my job because they're going to do theirs. Yeah. And that brotherly love and having the title of being called a veteran after service is something that very few Americans that haven't served will never quite understand, but it's great to be a veteran to share our stories and continue forward and always show up for tomorrow.
Well, Clint, you were a powerful voice and inspiration. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for your service. We really appreciate you.
Thank you guys
Thank
very
you.
much.
And at home, we do want to remind our viewers that the Veterans Day Parade will stream live tomorrow starting at 12:30 p.m. at fox5ny.com. And Fox 5 proudly salutes our nation's veterans and the organizations that serve them every day. And we believe that our veterans deserve to live with dignity and independence, not on the streets. That is why we are making camo our cause in support of the Honor U.S. Vets campaign. And you can join us by buying limited edition Fox U.S. Vets swag, making a donation, and wearing camo on this Veterans Day. So post your camo on your socials with hashtag Honor U.S. Vets.
And to donate, shop, and learn more on how you can help U.S. vets prevent and end veteran homelessness, scan the QR code right there on your screen, or you can visit go.fox/USVets.